Well, it's 6:43. Welcome back. Whether they're in a hurry to make curfew or experimenting with speed for the fun of it, teen drivers, they don't always have the best driving track record. Now, according to the Centers for Disease Control, traffic fatalities are the leading cause of death among teenagers, and that represents over 1/3 of all deaths. But there are ways that we can help to keep our teens safe while on the road. Here's more in this week's segment of Raising North Dakota. Your teen is officially a new driver. They're excited to cruise Maine with friends, blast the radio, and just be free. But with this newfound freedom comes risks. Being a parent of 2 teenagers, Fred Nordstrom knows all too well that kids will be kids, and they don't always make the decisions we hope for when behind the wheel.
Unfortunately, teenagers, they think they're invincible. As you being a parent know that that's not the case. They don't know everything, and they're not bulletproof. So all we can do is arm them with the knowledge that we can pass on to them, and hopefully they make the right decisions.
And Lieutenant Jeff Solomsas says that we can't ever assume that our kids will make the right choice when it comes to driving.
Most kids at that age aren't thinking long-term consequences. They just don't contemplate what are the potential risks of something. And I think that not just driving, but life in general. They don't have that ability to long-term consequences of their actions now.
When you combine a lack of foresight, peer pressure, and speed, it can spell disaster. And while drag racing, burnouts, and spinning donuts may not be anything new, Lieutenant Solomsas says authorities have seen it happening more often, especially during the lockdown.
There weren't as many people out moving around, which tended to let people drive a little faster because there's not as much traffic as there typically is.
So how do we prevent this from happening?
The parental role is paramount, obviously. You know, they have to have that consistent, solid, good foundation just to be a safe driver, to drive defensively, understand the rules of the road, know what your kids are doing when they're out driving around. How are they behaving?
And with the technology right at our fingertips, it's quite easy to be involved.
My wife has Life 360 on her phone. The girls have it on their phones. You can see their speed. You can see the location. Anything that's like a hard brake, you'll get a notification on it. You can ask them what happened with the situation. You know, we got a notification you had a hard brake.
And ultimately, it allows you to be actively involved in your teen's driving habits. And there are a number of apps out there, kind of overwhelming, to help you reduce the likelihood that your teen will speed, text and drive, or other risky behaviors while they're driving. And for a list of the driver training schools in North Dakota, I have that for you on our website at kxnet.com. And, you know, it's just like the possibilities are endless. And, you know, we do have to give our kids the freedom.
Yeah.
And, you know, establish that trust, but also keep them safe at the same time.
Right.
So it's this balance.
And it seems like in some cases, you know, maybe some kids, you know, give them a little bit more freedom, but if you see any signs, you might want to put these new measures in to really get ahead of it.
Yeah, I think it really depends on the kid, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, thank you, Alicia. All right, turning to weather now, Amber, how are those roads out there?